Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Harinam Sankirtan ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna Mataji. So we are going to deal today with the 7th chapter, evidences regarding the devotional principles. It has been already going on past 2 days or 3 days. And now we are going to read the last part of the chapter, and then we will summarize the entire chapter. So here the topic is given is not accepting unfit disciple, constructing many temples, or reading many books. So let us see what is all about it. First of all, Matajis, I would request all of you to bless me so that I can repeat the words which are given in the book and presented by the Acharyas as it is. Thank you, Matajis. So here, the person who is a disciple, when the spiritual master is accepting disciples, he should not be biased to anybody. He should be equal to everybody. He should not favor somebody, and he should not be unequal to anybody. He should be equal with everybody. So and he is not supposed to be involved directly in the temple constructions. Why? Because spiritual master, if he has actually there are so many books and the rules given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In that it is written what are the rules a sannyasi has to follow, and according to that it is written that spiritual master should not directly be involved in the temple construction. Let us see what it is. So the person may have many disciples, but he should not act in such a way that he will be obliged to any of them or some particular action or some favor. So he should not be biased with anybody, and he should be very enthusiastic he should not be very enthusiastic in construction of the temples, and he should not be very enthusiastic to read books, just to read, to gain the knowledge and to show the philosophy, to show the superintendency, he should not be like that. But why he has to reach? He has to read except the ones which lead to the advancement of devotional service. And he should not read just because to show he's, I'm a scholar, I'm a great person, Atara, not to show off. He should read only for the advancement of his spiritual progress. And
Mataji,
what
can you please share the screen?
Yes, Mataji. Mataji, can somebody share the screen, Mataji?
Rohini Mataji. Yes, thank you, Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. So we are first para only. So if what kind of a books he has to read? He has to read the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, teachings of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and the Nectar of Devotion. So what will these books give? These books will give you sufficient knowledge to understand what is Krishna consciousness. And he should not he should not be worried about the other books. He should read only the books which are subscribed for us to read. And in the 7th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 13 verse, in the 8th, Narad Muni, so he's discussing what are the orders of different orders in the society with Yudhishthir Maharaj. So this explanation was regarding the mentioning the rules for the sannyasis, those persons who have renounced in the material order. So it explains that a sannyasi, a person who has accepted the sannyasa order of life, should be, he is forbidden to accept a disciple who is not fit, who is not following the proper rules and regulations. So a sannyasi, while accepting any devotee, he should be very, very conscious to accept. He should see how sincere is the student, how good he is following, and then he has to accept. So if it is not sincere, the spiritual master need not accept him. However, Lord Chaitanya's causeless mercy is such that he advised all bona fide spiritual masters to speak about Krishna conscious everywhere. Even though they don't accept unfit disciples, still we can speak everywhere to elevate the people. Therefore, in the line of Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya, even the sannyasis can speak about Krishna conscious everywhere. And if someone is seriously inclined to become a disciple, the sannyasis always accept him. So even when somebody is very serious to become the disciple, then they accept. But they can speak Krishna conscious everywhere. The point is that without increasing the number of disciples, there is no propagation of the cult of the Krishna consciousness, right? If there are no devotees, there is no progress. I mean, the movement has to grow. Therefore, sometimes even at a risk, a sannyasi in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu may accept even a person who is not thoroughly fit to become a disciple. So sometimes they may accept because, see, for example, in the temple, sometimes the second initiation is given to some pujaris and all very quick. They sometimes, because there is urgent need of second initiated, so they will be given second initiation to worship the second deities, because the temple needs more pujaris. So sometimes there is a risk. The spiritual master takes the risk. Why? Because the service has to go on. If one increases the number of disciples simply for prestige or the false honor, he will surely fall down in the matter of executing Krishna consciousness. So in this way, if a spiritual master is doing more disciples just to show off, just for the false prestige, then what will happen? He will fall down. Similarly, the spiritual master has no business regarding the many book reading to show his proficiency or to get popularity. So he don't have to read books to show the proficiency or that he is a scholar. So it is stated that a sannyasi should not be enthusiastic about constructing temples also. So he should not be very much involved in temple construction. Why? We will see this. We can see in the lives of various acharyas in the line of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that they were not enthusiastic about the construction of the temples. And in what they were interested. However, if somebody comes forward to offer the service, the same reluctant acharyas will encourage the building of costly temples. So in Mahaprabhu's line, there are not much acharyas who were interested in building the temples. But in what they were interested? They were interested in preaching. But here some of the examples are given which are contradictory regarding that. Some acharyas are involved indirectly in the construction of temple. Let us see how. For example, Rupa Goswami was offered a favor by Maharaja Mansingh, the commander-in-chief of Emperor Akbar. So here one temple was built by indirectly involvement of Rupa Goswami. And Rupa Goswami instructed him to construct a large temple for Govindji, which cost various amounts of money. So that Maharaja Mansingh, he got some favor from Rupa Goswami, and thus he will ask what I can do for you. Then Rupa Goswami will tell, okay, you construct temple for Govindji. So in this way, Rupa Goswami is not directly involved, but still he is the reason for construction of the temples, other indirectly. So, a bona fide spiritual master should not personally take any responsibility of constructing temples. But if someone has the money and someone wants to spend in the service of Krishna, an acharya like Rupa Goswami may utilize the devotees' money to construct nice, costly temple for the service of the Lord. So he is not directly involved. If somebody else is giving the money, if somebody else is ready to construct, or if somebody else is do that service, then he encourages them. Who encourages? Spiritual master. Unfortunately, it happens that someone who is not fit to become a spiritual master may approach wealthy person to contribute for temple construction. If money is utilized by unqualified spiritual master for living comfortably in costly temples without actually doing any preaching work, this is not acceptable. So, if a spiritual master is not qualified and he is going and asking some materialistic persons donation, and he is constructing money, and he is not involved in preaching activities, and no preaching work is getting progressed. Only the huge temples are built. Such temples are of no use. In other words, the spiritual master need not be very enthusiastic in construction of the temple buildings, and simply in the name of so-called spiritual advancement. So there is no use of constructing temple walls just for the sake of having big buildings. So the main purpose of the temples to have is to share the knowledge, spread the knowledge, and to worship the lordships. Rather, his first and foremost activity should be preach. So what is the main role of the spiritual master? It is to preach. In this connection, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaja recommend that spiritual master print books. So so in this connection only, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur advised that the spiritual master should print books. Whoever is a spiritual master, he should work in printing the books. Even Srila Prabhupada, who is his disciple, very dear disciple, was told to print books if he gets money. One should spend his money for the publication of the authorized books in different languages for propagating the Krishna conscious movement. So that money, what they have to do? They have to print the books. What will happen with that? The knowledge will get propagated. How? Because the people will take the books, they will read, they'll get knowledge, they'll come to temples, or they'll approach spiritual masters, and they'll gain knowledge, and thus the progress happens. Straightforwardness in ordinary dealings and equilibrium in loss and gain. So there is a statement in Padma Purana. A person who are engaged in Krishna conscious should never be disturbed by material gain or loss. So a person who is Krishna consciousness, either if the happiness comes, or the sadness comes, or something he loses, or something happens to him, health issues, he loses his property. So whatever it may be, whether he gains some property, he gets some nice shares, whether he gets some nice gifts, or he gets a lot of money, still he should be in an equilibrium. He should not be disturbed. Even if there is some material loss, one should not be perturbed, but should always think of Krishna within himself. Even there is a loss. Usually, we cry and we become morose, thinking that, I lost this, I lost that, I lost this building, I have lost this property in the court, I've lost this purse, I've lost this jewelry. So even there is some material loss, we should not be perturbed. Why? Because we should always think of Krishna within ourselves. The purpose is that every conditioned soul is always absorbed in thinking of materialistic activities, and he has to be free from such thoughts and transfer himself completely to Krishna consciousness. Why this is told that we should not get disturbed even in happiness and sadness, gain or loss? Why we should not be get disturbed? Because we have to learn slowly that our activities are not centered around the material world. Our activities should be slowly shifted to the towards Krishna consciousness. So that is the purpose, that our thoughts should be channelized towards Krishna. How we can channelize to Krishna? If we are not giving so much importance to those items. What will happen if we lose one jewelry? What will happen if we lose some item? We don't lose much. Again we can buy, again we can get. So what should be our focus? Our focus should be being Krishna consciousness. Am I having the proper taste for chanting? Am I having the proper shraddha for deity worship? Am I having the proper focus to read? Am I actually following those principles? Am I actually listening to my spiritual master instructions? So all these things we have to worry. One should not be disturbed in material laws, but rather he should concentrate his mind upon the lotus feet of the Lord. So we should always think about the lotus feet of the Lord, that we are sheltered under his lotus feet. He is protecting us. Whatever happens, I am surrendered to the Lord. Let even the sky fall down. I am under the shelter of the Lord. That conviction one should have. A devotee should not be subjected to lamentation or illusion. There is a following statement in Padma Purana. Within the heart of a person who is overpowered by lamentation, anger, there is no possibility of Krishna being manifested. So here in Padma Purana, it is stated that the person who is always crying, who is always anger, who is always hankering for something, for such kind of a person's heart, Krishna won't come and stay. In whose heart Krishna will come and stay? Krishna will come and stay. There is a song. Tomare hridaye sada Govinda Vishrame. So, in Vaishnava's heart, in a pure devotee's heart, always Govinda stays. Now the topic is regarding the demigods. One should not neglect offer respects to demigods. We should always give respect to demigods. We should never neglect. For example, if we are sometimes we are taken in yatras, so we will go to even Lord Shiva's temple, and we go and pay obeisances and come. See, there is a temple called Gopishwara Mahadev who guards the Vrindavan, who has entered the pastime. See, there is a one pastime of Rasalila. In that Rasalila, Lord Shiva wanted to come and participate, but what happened? The gopis said, "No, you cannot enter here." Then what happened? Was told that you should change your body, as this body you cannot enter this pastime. Then the Lord Shiva will change, will be given the body of a gopi. Then he is called as Gopishwara Mahadev. Lord Shiva. Machi, can you mute? Somebody is unmuted and speaking. I think Rajashekar Prabhu from Bangalore here. Can you please mute? Yes, Madhuri. Thank you, Madhuri. So we during the yatras we are taken to the other Lord Shiva temple, and sometimes even to some other demigods temples where we pay obeisances and we come. So one may not be a devotee of demigods, but that doesn't mean he should be disrespectful to them. He should not be disrespectful. For example, the example is given, a Vaishnava is not a devotee of Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma. Right? We are not a devotees of Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma. But he is duty bound to offer respects to such positioned demigods. We are supposed to offer all respects to Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. According to the Vaishnava philosophy, one should offer respects even to an ant. So then what to speak of such exalted personalities like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva? So we are actually supposed to respect even to the ant. Why? Because Paramatma is there in the ant. In every living entity, there is Paramatma. Even in every anu, andantarastha paramanu sayantarastam, everywhere there is in every anu there is a Lord. In the Padma Purana, it is said, Krishna or Hari is the master of all demigods, and therefore he is always worshipable. But this does not mean one should not offer disrespects to the demigods. So it clearly explains that we can pay obeisances to Lord Shiva when we go to Lord Shiva's temple. We can even pay respect to Lord Brahma, but we are not supposed to worship them. Otherwise, it becomes Mishra Bhakti. Not giving pain to any. Next is not giving pain to any living entity. This is a statement of Mahabharata. A person who has who does not disturb or cause painful action in the mind of any living entity, who treats everyone just like loving father does his children, whose heart is so pure, certainly very soon becomes favored by Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is explaining that how a devotee should be.
I'm asking what's wrong?
Madhavi,
Please, I
somebody.
can't ask anything. What the?
Kavita Mataji, can you please mute yourself? Thank you, Mataji.
Done,
Thank you.
Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. So, it is explaining how a devotee should be. How a devotee should be, he should not be disturbed, or first of all, he should not get disturbed. Second thing, even if somebody does, he should not get disturbed. This is the first thing. Second thing is that he should not cause pain to any living entity, directly and also indirectly. What is indirectly? In the mind. He should not criticize anybody. He should not offend anybody, talk bad, think bad, or even, having some kind of a grief regarding them. Oh, he has done this for me. Oh, she has done this for me. Oh, I'm been upset because of that Mataji or this Mataji. So all these things, even in the mind, we are not supposed to cause any kind of offense or pain to the others. Then how we have to treat, this is a wonderful line. See, he who treats everyone just like father does his children, just like a father or a mother. Like how they love the children unconditionally, without any expectations, without any rules, without any kind of without any gain or loss. So everything, whatever they give is completely unconditional. So such kind of a love we should have on everybody, on every living entity. So such kind of a person becomes favored by Supreme Personality of Godheads. So whose heart is so pure, certainly very soon becomes favored by Supreme Personality of Godhead. It means Krishna will definitely come and stay in that person's heart, and he will be always blessed by the mercy of the Lord. It is so-called civilized society. There is sometimes agitation against cruelty to animals, but at the same time, regular slaughterhouses are always maintained. A Vaishnava is not like that. A Vaishnava can never support animal slaughter or even give any pain to the living entity. See, in our society, there are a lot of slaughterhouses and they are maintained. But Vaishnava is not like that. Vaishnava's mind, actions, words, it should be completely ahimsa. He should never think of violence. He should never think bad about anybody. He is a paradukha dukhi. He is a parasukha sukhi. Like he's always, if somebody is very happy, he's happy for them. If somebody is sad, he's sad for them. He's not jealous. If somebody is gained good position, if somebody is getting good profit, he's neutral. He's very happy. He's in his meditation to Krishna. He's not very much disturbed or agitated by all these things. So this ends this chapter called Evidences Regarding the Devotional Principles. Let us quickly summarize from the first to the end. So first is accepting the shelter of bona fide spiritual master. Mataji, somebody raised the hand. Virendra Epkote Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu, you have anything to say? Maybe by mistake it got raised. Okay. Anyways, Mataji. So the first is the chapter has, how the chapter has started, evidences regarding the devotional principles. It has started from the Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, verse number 25. So now this is about the Maharaj Nimi talking. What he was talking, the world, material world has no happiness. It is completely miserable. So, but how we can have eternal happiness? How we can be happy when a person is accepting the bona fide spiritual master, and when he is taking the initiation from spiritual master, then he becomes happy. And everyone should find such bona fide spiritual master for what? To fulfill the mission of his life. What is the mission? We have to transfer ourselves from material platform to spiritual platform. That is the reason we need the spiritual master's mercy. But if one should not accept spiritual master who is a full number one, who is just, has no scriptural injection, who is doubtful, who is not conquered with the six sense gratifying agents. What are the six sense gratifying agents? Explain. The tongue, genitals, belly, anger, mind, and words. If a spiritual master is not able to conquer them, then he should not be accepted. First, they told what kind of a spiritual master. Second, they told what kind of a spiritual master we are not supposed to accept. So anyone who has practiced controlling these six agents, then he is allowed to make the disciples from all over the world. And so to accept such spiritual master is a crucial point for the advancement of spiritual life. So such spiritual master is very important for our spiritual progress. Next is accepting initiation from the spiritual master and receiving instructions from him. So here there is a discussion about the sage Prabuddha. He speaks to king and it is follows. He says that, my king, my dear king, a disciple has to accept the spiritual master, not only as spiritual master, but as a representative of the Supreme God and the Super Soul. Right? So the spiritual master has to be given the respect of the Supreme Lord. Why? Because he is the external manifestation of Krishna. And also what we are supposed to do? One should learn Srimad Bhagavatam seriously with all the respects and veneration for the spiritual master. One should regularly read and also hear. Hearing and speaking about Srimad Bhagavatam is a religious process which will elevate one from the platform of serving and loving to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So by regular reading and regular hearing, we get what? We get service, and also we are loved by Supreme Personality of Godhead. And we also get the desire to love him. And here it explains about the attitude of the disciple. How should be the attitude of a disciple? He should be very much humble. He should satisfy the bona fide spiritual master. And then what he has, then by satisfying the spiritual master, for him, what he will get? Spiritual master will in turn give him spiritual knowledge. And he will easily understand the spiritual master's spiritual knowledge by the mercy. Here it is also confirmed in Vedas and Rupa Goswami. This is also confirmed in Vedas as well as Rupa Goswami further explains about it. A person who has unflinching faith in God and spiritual master, everything become very revealed and very easily. There was a devotee. He was reading Bhagavad Gita Ulta, holding the Bhagavad Gita Ulta, and he was not understanding anything. He was not able to read, or he was just crying seeing the picture of Bhagavad Gita. How Krishna is so merciful to. One second, Maji. Nana, local kello. So, seeing the picture of the Bhagavad Gita, he will be crying how Krishna can serve the devotee in a so humble way, in a so merciful way. Because while driving the Radha, the person who is standing behind will have to kick with the leg to show the direction. So that person was crying, seeing the Bhagavad Gita. And this way Mahaprabhu was so happy with him. Mahaprabhu will bless him. And then he will understand the reading the Bhagavad Gita. And also Mahaprabhu told, you are the one who actually understood the essence of Bhagavad Gita. So in this way, with the spiritual knowledge, Divya Chakshishu, we understand everything. We will be able to pass any oceans. There is a verse, right? Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langai tegrim yak kripa tamaham vande Shri Guru Dinataranam. So even the lame man can walk. Oh, and he can cross oceans just by the mercy of spiritual masters. Next, serving the spiritual master with faith and confidence. Even the person who cannot speak can speak by the mercy of spiritual master. Serving the spiritual master with faith and confidence. Regarding accepting initiation from the spiritual master, in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 27, it is stated by Lord Krishna, my dear Uddhava, the spiritual master must be accepted not only as my representative, but as my very self. He must be considered at the same level with, he must never be considered on the same level as the ordinary human being. One should never be envious of the spiritual master. So here Krishna himself is telling that spiritual master's he is in a different platform. He is not on a ordinary platform. He is almost, Krishna says that he is my representative, and he is on the same level. He is not on the same level with the ordinary human being. He is in a elevated level. Spiritual master should always be seen on the representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By serving the spiritual master, one is able to serve all the demigods. So we are not specially have to worship demigods. If you are watering the roots of the tree, all the branches, the leaves, the fruits, everything will get water. You don't have to separately water the leaves, separately water the fruits, separately water the branches. So once the roots are given the water, it is like everything it gets. So in the same way, if we are worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead with the help of spiritual master, everybody else is satisfied. We don't have to specially do the demigod worship. Next is following in the footsteps of the saintly person. In the Skanda Purana, it is advised that a devotee follows the past acharyas and the saintly person. Because what will happen if we are following them, we achieve the desired results. What are the desired results? With no chance of lamenting or being baffled in his progress. He will achieve the spiritual desired results, and he will have no lamentation, and there is no problems in the path of his spiritual progress. So he should always serve the saintly person and follow the acharyas and their footsteps. The scriptures known as Brahma Yamala states that if someone wants to pose himself as a great devotee without following the scriptures, then these activities will never help him to progress in devotional service. So if we are not following any scriptures, if we are simply posing ourselves as the devotees, then there is no point of progress. There is no point of change in the heart. Only the body will change. Only the external appearance. Person may look with the tilak, with the kanti. He might look nicely like a devotee. But internal change is not there. Instead, he will simply create the disturbance for the sincere students of devotional service. Why? Because he doesn't understand the philosophy. And what will happen if they don't understand? He creates the disturbance. How he creates? He does not know how to deal with the Vaishnavas. He does not know how to behave humbly with the Vaishnavas. He does not know the attitude behind the service. So what will happen? He will misunderstand, and the disturbances are created. Instead, he will simply create disturbance. Those who do not follow the revealed scriptures are called as sahajiyas. Here the word is called as sahajiyas. Those people who don't follow the scriptures, and they have imagined everything to be cheap, and who have their own ideas, own interpretation, and who does not follow any scriptural injunctions. So those are called as sahajiyas. They simply create disturbance in the devotional service. So because they are immature, they don't know Vaishnava philosophy, they don't know how to handle their anger, how to channelize their emotions. They don't know how to apply the philosophy. When there is no point of reading, they don't know how to apply it and how to change their heart. In this connection, an objection might be raised who are not in devotional service, who do not care for the revealed scriptures. So those who are not following the scriptures, they don't have any devotional service, and they do not care for the revealed scriptures, and they always cause objections. Here the example of Buddhist philosophy is given. When Lord Buddha was there, that time, even his own family members have not allowed him to follow the Vedic injunctions. And then what has happened? Under the King Maharaj Ashoka, the Buddhist religion has spread all over the India. And then what happened? After the appearance of great stalwart teacher Shankaracharya, this Buddhism was driven out beyond the borders of India. So the Buddhism was then stopped. We will see why it is stopped. And then Rupa Goswami says that, see, actually the devotees of Buddha who show devotional service to Lord Buddha and who therefore should be considered as the devotees. Sometimes, so people who are Buddhist, people who are other religion, they say that even the devotees of Buddha are also have to be considered as the devotees. But Rupa Goswami strictly says that followers of Buddha cannot be accepted as devotees. Why? Because Lord Buddha is accepted as the incarnation of Krishna. But the followers of such incarnation are not very advanced in the knowledge of the Vedas. So, to study the Vedas means to come to the conclusion of supremacy of Godhead. But here in the Buddhist philosophy, atheism is spread. For this reason, the Buddha's followers are not to be considered as the devotees, because atheism, what does atheism means? It means it defeats the authority of the Vedas and decrying the great acharyas who teach the Vedic scriptures for the benefit of the great people. So here, because the Buddha philosophy is completely atheistic philosophy, it is not the conclusion of the Vedas. We are not supposed to follow the Buddha religion, or we are not supposed to accept them as a devotees. They are the followers of Buddha. That's it. And we are not supposed to follow them. Neither we are supposed to take guidance from them. Lord Buddha is accepted as the incarnation of Krishna in the Srimad Bhagavatam. But in the same Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that Buddha appeared in order to bewilder the atheistic class of men. So Buddha has appeared to bewilder that atheistic class of men. Why? Because therefore the philosophy is meant for bewildering the atheist and should not be accepted. If someone asks why Krishna propagated such atheistic philosophy, why? Because there was a lot of violence happening on the name of religion, and to stop that himsa, to stop that violence, the Buddha philosophy has come to stop this violence and to spread the non-violence. So that is the reason the appearance of Buddha has come. The so-called religionist, this is not that. So also for then Lord Buddha preached atheism so that they follow him and thus tricked into devotional service to Lord Buddha or Krishna. So to stop that Vedas violence and all, Lord Buddha has come, and he has preached and he has spread the Buddhism, and then the devotees were started worshipping Buddha that time. Inquiring about the external religious principles. So if in the Naradiya Purana, it is said, if one actually very serious about the devotional service, then all his purposes will be solved without any delay. So this is explained in Naradiya Purana, that if a devotee is doing his service, devotional service very seriously, then whatever he desires, for example, actually here it is the spiritual desires, all will be fulfilled. So for if he is thinking, I want to progress, I want to become second initiated, I want to become first initiated, I want to do DT worship. If somebody says I want to become a preacher, if somebody says I want to construct a temple, even constructing temple also, if somebody has a desire, even that desire will also be fulfilled, provided if you are following your four regulatory principle properly, if you are doing your sadhana properly, and if you are surrender to your spiritual master. Even this is also possible. Lot of disciples of Srila Prabhupada, just by the orders of the spiritual master, blindly went and they have started so many temples. being prepared to give up everything material for Krishna's satisfaction. So in the Padma Purana here, it is stated, one who has given up material sense enjoyment and has accepted the principles of devotional service, the opulence of Vishnu Loka is awaiting. So here it is say that who has left the material enjoyment, who has accepted the spiritual life, the principles of spiritual life, then for him lot of opulence is waiting in which loka? In Vishnu Loka. Next, residing in the sacred place. So why we have to reside in the sacred place? In the Skanda Purana, it is explained that person who has lived in Dwaraka for 6 months, for 1 month, for even for a night, there is a waiting elevation to Vaikuntha Loka. So if we are staying in any dham, like Dwaraka Dham or some 1 day or 1 month or even the half night, then what will happen for such souls? There is a Vaikuntha Loka, elevation to the Vaikuntha Loka. And all profits of Sarupya Mukti, the privilege of having the four-handed bodily features as Narayana. So as a Narayana, they can be elevated. Again, here one more example is given. In the Padma Purana, it is explained that about the importance of Jagannath Puri. Even the demigods from higher planets see the people who are in Jagannath Puri same as the people in Vaikuntha. The demigods see this people of Jagannath Puri, the normal people of Jagannath Puri, as the four-handed form. Why? Because they are born in that Kurukshetra Kshetra. That is the potency the Dham has got. So, and there is a discussion about between the sages of Naimisharanya, Sutta Goswami, about the importance of the Ganges. So here it explained that the water of the Ganges are always carrying the flavors of Tulsi offered at the lotus feet of Krishna, as such as the water from the Ganges are ever flowing, spreading the glories of Lord Krishna. Wherever the water of Ganges are flowing, all will be sanctified, both externally and internally. So here the glories of Ganges is explained that Ganges flows directly from the lotus feet where the Tulsi is there, and then it is purified, and then it comes down, it is spread. So wherever there is a spread of Ganges, Mother Ganges, the place is completely purified. Then accepting what is necessary. So in Naradiya Purana, it is explained that one should accept what is necessary if he is serious about discharging his devotional service. What does that mean? That he should not accumulate. He should neglect what is not necessary. He should be blinded for what which is not helping him for the spiritual progress. Whatever is helping him to follow his spiritual life, whatever is helping him to favor his spiritual life, that kind of a things has to be accepted. Remaining everything he can ignore. So, for example, it is said that one should chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra at least 100,000 times daily on his beats. But if this is not possible, then one must minimize his chanting according to his own capacity. So this is explained regarding the devotee who is very initially comes when he directly jumps to 16 rounds. So he has to gradually start from 2 rounds, 4 rounds, 6 rounds, and then 10 rounds, and then 16 rounds. But if this is not possible, one must minimize his chanting according to his own capacity. So initially we will be very enthusiastic and we will start 12 rounds, we will start direct 13 rounds. But what will this happen? Slowly, it becomes mechanical. So instead of that, according to our capacity, we should start chanting initially. And then we have to reach to 16 rounds. Generally, we recommend our disciples to chant at least 16 rounds on their japa beats daily. And this should be completed. So if we are taking some commitment, that commitment of rounds should be completely finished. Or if he is unable to finish the 16 rounds, then he can make it up the next day. If actually the 16 rounds has to be done. But by any chance, any severe, very, very severe cases, very, very rare cases, we are not able to finish our 16 rounds, what we have to do? We have to at least try to finish those rounds next day. We must be sure to keep this vow. We should always be keep this vow. And then it is explaining here about the regulatory principles, that one should follow all the regulatory principles according to his own capacity, and he should follow the vows without fail. What will all these things help? Chanting, following the vows, and what will all these things will do? It will help one to advance in spiritual progress. Why it will advance? Because the cleaning of the heart is happening and he is directed towards the spiritual path. Slowly, the Bhakti Lata is growing. His Shraddha, everything is growing. His hearing, chanting, Shraddha, everything grows like, lotus, how it fully blooms, like that, a devotee will bloom. Next, observing fasting on Ekadashi. So this is about the Ekadashi. Brahma Vaivarta Purana says that by fasting the Ekadashi is free from all kinds of sinful reactions and also advances in pious life, in his pious life. So by following the Ekadashi, we will spiritually progress and we will be advanced towards the pious life. Why? Because why do we fast? Why we have to fast? It is explained here. The basic principle is not just to fast, but what it is the basic principle? It is to increase one faith and love towards Krishna, that I am surrendered to you. The real reason for observing fasting is that to minimize the demands of the body. We eat more. Normal days we eat more, we sleep more. So everything is more. But during the Ekadashis, what we have to do? We have to minimize the body-centered activities and engage our time more in the chanting. For example, if we are doing oiling, if we are doing head bath, if we are doing cutting our nails, if we are maintaining all these things, then what will happen? So much time will be spent. So on Ekadashi, it is advised to keep your day very simple and follow, eat less, and then they follow more into spirituality. So the best thing to do on Ekadashi is to remember the pastimes of the Lord, sing the glories, chant more, read more, and hear more. So this is the best way to follow Ekadashi. Next is offering respects to banyan tree. So in Skanda Purana, it is said that a devotee should offer water to tulsi plants and amalaka trees, and he should respect cows, brahmana, and also serve the Vaishnavas by offering respectable obeisances and also meditating them. So all these processes, what he will do? By worshipping the trees, by respecting brahmanas, by respecting cows, by offering respects to all the Vaishnavas and meditating and taking their blessings, what will happen? All his past sinful reactions will slowly diminish, slowly will go away. Next, giving the company of non-devotees. So Lord Chaitanya told we should never associate with the non-devotees. We should associate only with the devotees. And here he explained about the two classes of people. One class is called the supremacy of Krishna, and the other class is called too materialistic. That means, in a simple words, one is the people who are doing a material enjoyment, and other are the people who are surrendered to the Lord. They are the people who are not surrendered to the Lord, who are against the supremacy of the Lord, are called Avaishnava, and their company should be avoided. So those who are not Vaishnavas, those who are not following a scriptural injunction, those who are not the devotees of Krishna, their association should be forbidden. In Katyayana Samhita, even if one is forced to live in a cage of iron box, if it is made and a devotee is kept in that, and around everywhere there is a fire, or even if full fire is there, he should accept to live, he should live alone rather than living with the non-devotees. So that dangerous is living with the non-devotees. We should accept this position rather than living with non-devotees, who are against the Supreme Lord. So even in the Vishnu Rahasya, it is explained that effect that one should prefer to embrace the snake, a tiger, a alligator, rather than associate with the persons who are worshippers of various demigods, who are impelled by material desire. Similarly, we should not say, it is explained that we can even ready to embrace a snake, tiger, or literally it doesn't mean we have to go and embrace, but it explains that No, we should, it is so dangerous. Embracing the tiger, embracing the snake, embracing the alligator is also not difficult than associating with this kind of people who are the worshippers of demigods and who don't follow, who don't accept the supremacy of the Lord. So such persons association is more dangerous than all these things. In the scriptures, it is stated that one may worship certain demigod and he will achieve the material gain. For example, if we are worshipping sun god, so his scripture says that particular demigod is responsible to give you particular thing. For example, sun god. Sun god, if we pray, what will happen? He will help us to get rid of the diseases. And for a beautiful wife, we worship, devotees worship the Lord Uma. Who is Uma? Parvati Devi is a wife of Lord Shiva. And for good education, Saraswati. Lot of children, they will be taken to Saraswati Devi temple for Akshara Vyasam and all. Similarly, there is a list in Srimad Bhagavatam for the worshippers of all demigods. So for one particular material gain, there is a one demigod whom they worship. So, but all these worshippers are not considered as the devotees. They are not a devotees. They are to be considered as the non-devotee. Even the Mayavadis, they are also not considered as the devotees. But it doesn't mean, Mayavadis say that one may worship any of the Lord form. But it doesn't matter. But one reaches the same destination way. So Mayavadis explain that what is the problem if we worship the Brahma Jyoti? What is the problem if we, anyway, we are all going to the same destiny. What is the problem if we meditate and do on Brahma Jyoti? But Bhagavad Gita strictly condemns. It says that worshippers of demigods will ultimately reach only the planets of those demigods. So whoever worships such demigod, they'll go to that demigod loka. Whoever worships this demigod loka. So atara, depending on their faith, they are given the position. And in the Vishnu Rahasya, demigod worshippers are fully condemned. Why? Because it is better to live most dangerous animals than to associate with those persons. So this para is explaining that we should not be associating with the non-devotees or the devotees who are the worshippers of demigods, and the devotees and the people who don't follow the scripture injunction, and the devotees who don't follow the supremacy of Krishna. So those association should not be considered as important. Should not be we should not take association. We should give association. We should preach them rather than taking their association. And only when we are qualified, then only we can teach. So that's it. This is the full explanation of the chapter. Then after this, I've already explained that regarding the books and constructions of the temple. So these worshippers of the demigods are condemned in Gita. Why? Because they are considered, they are described due to their lusty desire. They have lost their intelligence and have therefore taken to worshipping the different demigods. So what is demigods worshipping is described is because they have lost their intelligence. They are worshipping with their lusty desires to the demigods for some material gain. So that is the reason the demigod worshippers are not to be considered as the devotees, and we are not supposed to take their association. So I have taken some quotes. I'll just explain in another 10 minutes. What are the quotes which explains about this? So how we have to approach the spiritual master? That is explained by Tadviddi Panipratena Pariprashnena Sevaya. Right, I'll explain that shloka. So this is from Bhagavad Gita 4.34, that how we have to approach the spiritual master. How we have to approach is we have to submissively we have to approach, and we have to render the service to him. And the self-realized soul can impart knowledge on you because he has seen the truth. So just try to learn the truth by approaching the spiritual master. We have to approach the spiritual master with humble and very submissive nature. Then the spiritual master will give us the knowledge. So this is one quote, and another quote is from the Bhagavatam, not Bhagavatam, Mukunda Upanishad, Tad Vijnartam Sagurum Eva Bigachet Sotriyam Brahmanishtam. To understand these things properly, one must humbly approach with a firewood in hand a spiritual master who is learned in the Vedas and firmly devoted to the absolute truth. So, this is how we have to approach the spiritual master. This is very important shloka. Which one? Mukunda Upanishad, that how we have to approach the spiritual master. And then one more is Mahat Sevam Dwaram Mahur Vimuktes Tamodwaram Yoshitam Sangi Sangam Mahantas Te Samachittaha Prasanta Vimanvaya Suhadra Sadavoye. This shloka explains that one can attain the path of liberation from the material bondage only by rendering the service to highly advanced spiritual personality like sadhus and acharyas. And these personalities are impersonalist and devotees. Whether one merges into Lord's existence or want to associate with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one should service to Mahatmas. For those who are not interested in such activities, who associate with people fond of men and sex, the path to hell is wide open. The Mahatmas are equiposed. They do not see any difference one living entity to another. So they are very peaceful and fully engaged in devotional service. They are devoid of anger. They work for the benefit of everyone, and they do not behave in such abominable way. Such people are known as Mahatmas. Here it is explaining about the qualities of Mahatma. They are not equiposed. They give us knowledge. They guide us, and they are very peaceful, and they're always engaged in the devotional service. This is the explanation of the Mahatmas. Yes, we have 3 more minutes. If anybody has any doubts, please
I have
ask
a
me.
question, Mataji. Means why means we should not preach to non-believers or non-devotees? Now the book distribution is going on.
We can
So
preach. We can
we
preach.
meet so many So we meet so many non-devotees, non-believers. So we can give them Krishna consciousness, because here in this Nectar of Devotion it is said that Krishna. There's no only question like.
We can give association. But we should not follow their philosophy. We can distribute books, we can preach, we can give them prasadam, but we should not accept their association. Associating means we should not take their association. We can give our association. We can preach. But if we don't have the knowledge, there are the chances that we may get influenced by them. So that is the risk.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Matajis, any doubts, Matajis? Anything which you want to comment on, or anything which which has to be explained?
Means like what I explained in the comment is like demigods and devatas is one and the same, and Shiva is the greatest devata, we can say. Means Vaishnavanam Shambhu.
Yes.
I mean, he's the greatest. Means all these devatas are like, we can say, servants of Krishna. So why Prabhupada used this word demigod? That's my only question. Like.
Because they are not supreme. The qualities or the powers what Supreme Personality of Godhead has got, they have not got in that. They have not got that powers, or they are created by the Krishna. How can they be supreme to the Krishna? That is the reason.
Okay, means our like Hindu word that is devata is correct. Means for the demigod, it is English equivalent word, we can say demigod.
Yes. Lord Shiva is the greatest Vaishnava, and regarding the Lord Shiva, there is a beautiful Vishwanath Ashtakam. One second, I will sing that. Ganga Taranga. It explains about the glories of Lord Shiva. Ganga Taranga Ramaniya Jata Kalapam Gauri Nirantara Vibhushita Vama Bhagam Narayanam Priyamananga Madapaharam Varanasi Purapatim Bhaja Vishwanatham. So here it says that whose matted hair forming a beautiful bundle of beautifully decorated with the streams of river Ganga, whose left half is always adorned by Devi Gauri, who is very dear to Sri Narayana, who destroyed the pride of Ananga Kamadeva. I worship that Vishwanatha, who is in the city of Kashi. So, itara, the Lord, the glories of Lord Shiva are explained, and he is considered as the greatest Vaishnava. We all go and pray to Lord Shiva's temple that please give us such a faith and devotion, and please make us near to Krishna. So this is the prayer which we are supposed to do whenever we are approaching the demigod. Hope this answers your prayer, your question.
Yes, correct. Yes, very true, very true. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Correct. Thank you. So Mataji, thank you so much for listening. Vancha kalpa tarobhyasya kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Brind ki jai. Himachari Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai.
Thank you very much for the wonderful class. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maji.
Thank you,
Thank you, Maji.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
Mataji.
Krishna.
Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Sorry,
Thank
thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you,
Thank
Mataji.
you.
Hare Krishna Maji.
Mataji, with your
Yes,
permission, can I end the session, Mataji?
Yes, Maji. Yes, Maji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam, Mataji.